Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And I have two important things here. You may not think they're important, but get you whatever you want so that you don't miss it. We're going to talk about voting. You know, that's in 4 weeks. No, or 3 weeks, according to this show. But what's happening here is they sent you a sample ballot. And I'd like to commend the Board of Election for putting it in two languages, English and Spanish. Now, this is going to take place November 8th, okay? The polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., all right? Make sure that you are prepared. Take this document, and you should have that document. Now, I got mine. This is mine here, and you should study it so that when you go to the poll, you will be well versed on what the poll items that you have to have and the things that you're going to do. Please pay attention to your polling place. Most of you, I don't know, most of you think that, hey, was it a school or the library? Okay, well, you have time now to find out where that polling place is, and the hours is going to be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And please pay close attention to the polling place. A lot of people show up, you know, oh, I thought it was in the library. I thought it was in the elementary school. But now is the time to make sure that where your polling place is, okay? So this, like I said earlier, I think they did a good job, the illustration. So you can vote one of three ways. You can vote early, okay? Early voting is the registered voter can visit any early voting site in Prince George's County to cast his or her ballot. If you decide to vote early, you cannot vote an absentee ballot on election day. Cannot vote absentee ballot election day. The early voting dates, times, and sites were listed on the next page of this document, and I'm going to read it. So, I mean, there's no reason, doing vote on election day or vote by mail. If you say, well, hey, look, I can't make it to the poll, then you can vote, and these are the rules. Any registered voter can request an absentee ballot. To request an absentee ballot, call Prince George's County Board of Elections at 301-341-7300, or visit click on Services and Absentee Ballot to download an application. That's if you are computer-wise, okay? Okay, and must be received at Board of Elections office by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 8 p.m. This is voting by mail. Okay, if you want to download your ballot from your website, your absentee ballot request must be received early on election day. And that also is November the 4th, Friday. You will receive that. Okay, then you go to vote on election day. During the November 8th, 2000 election, you should vote at your assigned polling place. So many people, they go out and they say, you know, I used to vote, let's see, if it's not a presidential election, every 4 years. Okay, if it's a local election, you know, it's every 2, and that type of thing. They get too confused. But here's an opportunity for you to work on that ballot now. I mean, don't wait till the last minute. Get that. You should have that ballot from the Board of Elections, okay? Please make sure where your assigned polling place is located. Your polling location can be found on the back page. Now, this document here, okay, on the back page, you should be able to find out where your voting location is on the back of the paper that you're getting. Voting location, and they have the voting location where you don't make a mistake saying, I went there and I went there. The official ballot tells you all these things, how to proceed through that. You can, just like I say, you can vote on election day, You can vote by mail, and you can vote early vote. Okay? Make sure that you follow the directions. Okay? And for more information, and call 301-341-7300, 800-222-8663. Or you can even fax. I don't know. Yeah, you can fax. That's 301-341-7391. Okay. Hey, we're going on. I'm taking you through this whole thing. How you mark your ballot. Okay. How Prince George's County votes. Okay. You mark your ballot. Mark the oval next to your choice using a black ballpoint pen. To cast a write-in and vote, make the oval next to the write-in, okay, space, and then print. Print. Now, you got to print. Don't, that scratching that you do, you can't do it. You got to print, okay, your candidate's name, the person that you're voting for. There's no excuse, okay? Review your ballot. Is marked and make sure it's marked correctly. And you know you have a little oval in there, you know, that you take a pen and color it in. You know, it looks like what do you call it, watermelon or something like that. But review your ballot and make sure it's marked correctly. Did you turn it over? There may be contents on the other side. Okay, scan your ballot. Insert your ballot into the ballot scanner. Your ballot can be tabularized in any orientation, right side up, back side, or upside down. And thanks for the voting screen will appear after your ballot is script. Correctly mark your ballot. It's important. If you just want to waste your vote, just go down there and don't mark your ballot correctly. Okay, it's important to mark your ballot properly before inserting it into the ballot scanner. Okay, make sure the ballot you print now. Don't go down there writing. Okay, early voting is going to be October 27 to 2016 through November 3rd, and that's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, and they have different places: Accokeek Trading and Activity Center, Bladensburg Community Center, Bowie Gymnasium, College Park Community Center, Laurel Beltsville Senior Activity Center, and Suitland Community Park School Center, Southern Regional Technical and Recreation Complex, Upper Barber Community Center, and Wayne Curry Sports and Learning Center. Early voting locations are subject to change. So, like I say, you want to make sure that you are at the right place. Or if you're not in the right place, then hey, you might as well throw it in the garbage. To vote for a person whose name is not listed on the ballot, hey, this is very important. I made a big deal out of this the last time when I said I didn't know all of these people were running. Okay, you even have a Brown on there that's running. Okay, you have to look at this page, and it's anyone that you want to vote for the president or vice president. Here it is, and the U.S. Senate and the representative in Congress, District 4, they're voting. Okay, so what you have to do is that you have to go down this list. Hey, you got about 15, 20, 25 names on here. Okay, to vote for a person whose name is not listed on the ballot. Now, hey, this is where you can, make your real choice. You don't have to vote Democrat or Republican. What you do, touch the oval to the left, right in the context for which you wish to write in a person's name. If you want to put Aunt Susie in there, you can't put Aunt Susie in there. You got to put Susie's full name. Okay? On the keyboard, press level to spell the person's first and last name. You have to spell. You got to know what Uncle Tom was his name, Thomas or Tom or whatever name that he's go by. You got to put it, not what you call him. You know, you got to put on the keyboard, press the letter to spell the person's first and last name. You got to put it, as you press the letter, the name will appear in the box above the keyboard. Okay? We're rolling now. Press space to make a space between the person's first and last name. You can't jumble that stuff up, you know. You say Ed Brown and you don't put a hyphen or something in between there. You have to put a space between the first and last name. Okay? To make a change, you have to press backspace. Hey, this sounds like a typewriter. You know? But anyway, after entering the person's name, you press accept. In other words, you got to, you know, you put the name in there, you got to press accept. That's the one. Your write-in choice will show on the screen for that contest. If you change your mind and don't want to cast a write-in vote, touch the write-in name, press clear. You had to press clear to get rid of that joker that you put in there. You forgot how to spell the name. Okay, press clear and then press accept. Now, I want you to take time here. I want to take a little time because you're not going to get this information anywhere but on the Ed Brown Show. Okay, for president, we have Mr. Boeing. He's a Republican. We have Gates. She's a Republican. McCanny, Republican. And we have Reed, Adams, Thomas, and we have Theodore Brown. You know, I'm not going to give their area where they're from. It doesn't make it. Muhammad and Locke, McMullen, Makers, Smith, Williams, Bowler, another Brown, Dana Brown. Hey, a lot of people on there belong to the Brown family there. Carsall, Duncan, Fox, and all of those people, they're mixed in there as either affiliate or Republican. You got a few Democrats in there, and so you can go down the line there and look at for Senate. You got Robertson, Democrat, Smith, Democrat, and Young, Democrat. Then unaffiliated is Dorsey, and then you have Titus, a House of Representatives, 4th District. Now, that's Pettis, Democrat. Hey, I bet you won't get that. You didn't know there was that many of running, huh? Oh, hey, look, it's quite a few. But you have to, okay, once again, here we go on the process, vote for one. Instructions. Hey, now we're coming down to the instructions for what happens. The representative in Congress, the 4th District, and then you have the names of the different judges. Hey, you seen all them signs, you never seen a name before. You know, most of those are judges. And see, it's important that you vote on these judges because these guys or these ladies are the ones that going to determine some of the things that you get sent away from. You know what I mean? And the main thing about this, what you want to do a little homework on these people. I mean, you have, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever. You take time and do a little homework, and all of those people that are running with the signs in the yards and that type of thing. Okay, but it's important that you vote. And the main thing is that you find out basically the early voting time, which I gave to you, the time that the polls open today. The polls open at 7 o'clock, close at 8. You have to know those are critical things, and you have to make sure you know. On the second page they they give you some voting places, and you have to look at which one of these is yours. Don't wait. Say, I thought, oh, they changed my voting place. Oh yeah, it's right here though, in the material that the Board of Election sent out to you. So I'm just saying now, this is very important that you vote, because if you don't vote, what happens is, and you got to vote on all levels. Most people, they talk about the presidential election, and they go out for that, and they have their little gatherings and things of that nature, But the main thing you want to do is this sample ballot that the Board of Election put out. You want to read it thoroughly. Don't assume that you know how to vote. Don't assume that. Go in there and read. Go in there in time and read. And then if you have the write-in, you remember the write-in votes. What you have to do? Can you remember what I said about the combination of what you have to do? You got to take that pen, and then you got to mark the different people that you want. Yes, you got to, and like I said, the major item here is the fact that they sent it to you 4 weeks, okay? So I want to see everybody out there, okay? You have to vote. If you don't vote, it doesn't count. Don't say, well, I'm not going to vote for either one. Both of them are lousy or both of them are good. Whatever it is, make sure that you vote. Take time to vote, and take your youngsters down there. Show them the procedure. Just let them see what a good citizen does. Time to vote, they participate. And this is so very important. Some people sit at home and complain, but this is not the time to complain. The time to complain is later on. And make sure, this is a parting word about voting, make sure you do your homework. Don't go by Uncle Ben, Aunt Susie. Whatever is good for Uncle Ben and Aunt Susie may not be good for you. You know what I mean? Take a position and make sure that you go out and vote, and encourage all your friends to vote. This election is very, very important. This has been Ed Brown. Hey, we're coming back with, we're talking about economic slavery. And you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the different things, different places that you go and look for jobs. Well, right now, they have a big gap. They're saying the African American, it will take 228 years for them to catch up with the other citizens of this country. African American and the Spanish, they're running neck and neck on the bottom. So you got to think in terms of economic slavery. When you go, why don't you just try it? Get your computer out, and the last place you bought something, just check their name, put it in Google. That's my favorite. Put it in Google and find out if they have any CEOs on their staff. When I don't mean, sweeping the floor. I'm talking about CEO training. You have a lot of corporations around, a lot of fast food, a lot of them, and you put your dollars out every day for this. And you need to know if that company is participating in the CEO programs for minorities, because minorities are way, way back. You're talking about the average minority, 53,000, average other American, other than minority, they up in the 70s and the 80s. Yes, that's what I said. They're in the 70s or in the 80s in the average minority. They're down there in the 50s and the 40s. So I don't see how a person in the 30s And so what happens is that you got to make your money work for you. And you make your money work for you when you fight economic slavery. And that's what's happening in these United States. They don't like the word slavery, but that's what it is. Do you realize 3% of the 3% of the population control all the money? Yeah, that's what I said. 3% control all the money. Okay, a good example is going on now where some people feel that anytime they can scheme and not pay taxes. We have one young man that's going to run for president, and he's proud of the fact that he built the Uncle Sam out of X number of dollars for 20 years. If we had that, if you and I had that type of attitude, you wouldn't have any roads, you wouldn't have any positive things that is set up to help people survive. Because of the fact, if you don't pay taxes in 20 years, my God, the country, talking about great, the country will be in great debt. That's where the country will be, in great debt, if everyone develop some kind of scheme in which they don't pay their quota of taxes. I don't think there's anything to be proud of because, hey, your schools, your hospital, so many of them depend on money from the federal government. Right now in Prince George County, you have a hospital that's coming in. Okay, the federal government, they're giving money. Where did that money come from? That comes from your pocket and my pocket. And people that are not paying their income tax, that have the money to find scheme and loopholes in the tax law, and they're proud of it. Then they, fine. How would you like someone to be in charge of your home that felt that way and he controlled all the money in the house? In other words, when you wanted something, you have to go begging, But the idea is that we have a great country and we want to continue to have it. And if you're going to do that, you got to really, really look at this election and say, don't say, hey, both of them are lousy. Say, I don't know. I'll just throw a dart and pick one. Okay, what you have to do is evaluate what they stand for. And the only way that you can evaluate what they stand for, you got to do homework. You can't believe in the media. I'm part of the media because they all are involved in the control of money. The candidates, if you're poor, what office I don't think you could, if you don't have any money in this country, you can't run for dog catcher. Because, hey, you got to have campaign money. You got to have money to sway people, like giving parties or whatever, going places you've never been before, maybe going to church for the first time. You say, well, they got people there and I want to win, so I'll go to church. It'll be the first time I'll go to church. You're talking about keeping America great. What keeps America great is taxes. Yeah. You don't like it, neither do I, but it's essential that everyone pay their share. We don't need individuals that are using their money under the table to change laws. So whatever they're doing, it's legal, no matter how it affects the negative effect. You wouldn't have, you talk about the traffic, you talk about the roads. What about if you didn't have government funds? What would happen to your roads? What would happen to your transportation? What would happen to your food? All of this, the federal government is in the lead. And they're the only ones that's giving money freely for people that need it. And anytime you have a politician that doesn't believe in, they believe in staying in office 25 years, they want to, Fox watching the hen house, they want to do their own redistricting, you know what I mean? But what we really need, we need limitation on terms. But most of the politicians, they tell you, yeah, well, we want to be here in 90 years, of course. That's how they determine the money committee that individuals get. Is if they've been here 90 years, then they should be qualified. You know what I mean? So term limitations, that's one thing you have to think in terms of that. We have to get some of the young people involved. New ideas. Just think, if we just had all those ideas that they did 100 years ago, we wouldn't be able to survive now. We got to make progress. Where you make progress, you don't have term limitation. You give every American, blue, green, polka dot, an opportunity to help. And many, many, many of your migrants, many of your minorities, they have contributed to this country, which they haven't really got credit for. Some of them really have given up their life to keep this country like it is. And so anytime you find someone want to divert money from the federal government, you're hurting yourself. That person doesn't need to be in there, because the only thing they're thinking about is their self. Term limitation is a good thing for any voting citizen to think about, because you want to be able to represent yourself. Do you have an opportunity? Well, if you don't have the money, you don't have an opportunity in this society. Where does the money come? Well, money comes from the corporation. Okay, the corporation, what do? The corporations, they open up and they buy their ways. And a good example, which most of you know about, hey, what about the banks? Now, everything is involved with the banks. And I don't need to explain how the banks function and what has happened to a lot of people out there, because they are busy trying to control all the money. 3% of the people, now 3% of the people control the money in this country. And what you want someone that is interested in helping someone else. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to pass on our knowledge to the future, and the future are the young people. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to get involved, and don't forget to go out and vote. I don't care, don't make excuses. Go and vote, because if you don't, you'll be sorry. And then those that don't vote, we don't want to hear it. This has been Ed Brown. See you next time.